What's up, y'all? 3Gun Kenzie here, back on the channel, trying to make some more videos for you guys if you've been paying attention here. So I want to jump on here because I'm really impressed by another gun that Tisas has come out with, and if you're not familiar with them, go look them up. Tisas makes Turkish or imports Turkish firearms, but they're here in Knoxville, Tennessee. So I love the relationship I have with them. I'm grateful to work with them. They have, you know, other lines of guns that I'm sure you're familiar with, especially the Mac guns and the Tokarevs. But we're talking about the PX-9 2.0 Gen 3 duty comp pistol. So this is a revamp of their PX-9, and the biggest difference that we're talking about today is the ported barrel. So this is still a polymer frame pistol, right? Very, very lightweight firearm. This duty comp added the single port into the barrel and obviously the slide, so you get those gases out. And it kind of completely changed the way the old gun feels compared to the new gun. If you shoot a lot of polymer pistols, you know how the muzzle flip is just because they're not weighted down versus a 1911, 2011, steel frame guns, what have you. This truly changes the feel of the gun. And the price point's insane. Obviously probably can't say this on YouTube, so go look that up. But the porting is great. But then they have some other small tweaks to the gun that is also impressive, especially for me. And I would say this is probably the most like competition ready gun that Tisas has made. So one of the upgrades here is this thumb rest essentially. They put texture on here. So when I go to grip the gun, that's kind of my index point. It should be my index point. What I mean by that is my support hand thumb is always there. If it's down here, if it's up higher, that's kind of telling me that I don't have the right grip on this gun. So I really like the indexing point. And other guns, or you know, people that shoot polymer frame guns, they typically will stipple this and have some sort of texture there to kind of remind them that that's their go-to. You do have your extended magazine release with a little bit more texture as well. But what impresses me most too is this trigger. So you still have a flat-faced trigger. Again, more competition set than any gun that they've got going on, but you do have your trigger shoe safety. So when you go to pull this trigger, you can't pull it without depressing that center safety. Then the gun will go off, reset. You do have to come off a little bit on the reset for Tisas compared to other guns, I would say, on the market. But when you're running at speed, it doesn't matter as much. Something else that I will note, but I want to say why it's not as important to rely on, is they do have a chamber full indicator. So if I pull the trigger and I'm essentially releasing the hammer, and there's no way to, there's no resetting the trigger right now, that red dot is gone. However, that shouldn't be your go-to to check if a gun is loaded or not, right? It is good to have that there to tell you like, hey, probably should check the chamber, might be loaded, right? But we treat all guns as if they're loaded. So that's not something I would say is the best like thing to go to and rely on. But I do like that it's there just because it is a good kind of word of caution for people to know that are not used to shooting guns that often. So the other thing on here is it's red dot ready. So they have a cover plate that I immediately chucked in the trash, probably, I think, because that's what I do. Red dots are life. But this gun comes cut with the RMR footprint. So I love that. And then we have our co-witness iron sights. You kind of have a serrated back sight, and then you have your true glow or tritium front sight, which is nice. So you can co-witness, but I immediately put the Meprolight MPO-F on here. Let's talk about the red dot on here. There's a lot of cool features with some of the new optics that Meprolight's been coming out with, but this red dot specifically is a multi-reticle red dot. You have a 3 MOA single dot and a 33 MOA outer ring, and you can run those together and have both on, or you can change the single dot or the outer ring only. And it's really easy. The controls are on the left side for up and down. That adjusts your brightness. But when you hold the down arrow, that's how you switch between the combination of the red dots. So that's super nice. They do have a battery compartment that is on the side, 1632 battery. So it's not your 2032, this can be a little bit smaller. But I do love that you don't have to take the whole entire optic off, just if you want to mount or change out your battery. That's really convenient for me. On top, you have your adjustment for up and down, and then the side is going to be for your left and right. Very easy to make, flathead screwdriver, ready to go. This, though, is an open emitter red dot. So they make close and open. If you don't know the difference between those, it's kind of important. It's certainly a personal preference, and it's more of a practical application of the gun that you're using. So an open emitter, the emitter that like projects the red dot essentially is on down here. You can't really see it, but it's open to the elements. So if you have dust in there, if you get rain in there, if you get mud in there, it can cause you to not be able to see that reticle versus an enclosed. enclosed emitter is going to be kind of like probably a boxy shape, square shape, I would say. But that way it protects that reticle from being projected. And I like a closed emitter for carry guns. I mean, that's probably the most practical use that I could say. And other than that, I use open ones. So I just want to mention that. But RMR footprint, multi-reticle, easy battery change out, easy controls. You do have night vision settings. I don't run night vision, should one day. But if that matters to you, it has it. But okay, going back to the gun. So what's really nice is Tisas ships this gun with the flared magwell. It doesn't come on the gun, but they ship it with the gun, and anybody can install this. There's just a single set screw here on the bottom. You don't even have to take off the back strap or anything. And if you're familiar with Tisas brands, what's really great about their entire back strap and side grip panel system is, I think, don't quote me, but I think it's right, 27 configurations. You can change the grip panels to have palm swells, have a larger, grip in the back, a smaller, and change it up to your hand size, which is really, really cool. Especially like for me, I like my right hand to have more of a palm swell outward and then have the left flush so I can get as tight of grip as a grip on the gun. I can't talk today apparently, but moving on. They ship these with extended magazines as well. So you're talking about 20 round magazines, and it doesn't sit up into the magwell, which is what you want. That way, if you had to pull it out, you could. There's a little bit of texture on the base pad, but also so it doesn't sit inside there and then you can't really seat the mag. So I think that is a nice feature that they did. And then up here, they do have a Picatinny rail. So I put the Nitecore NPL27 light on here. And this is new for me. It's something I've never tried before. And it is ambidextrously controlled. So right hand, left hand, or if you were left-handed, you would swap those obviously, but really easy on-off buttons right there. And what kind of blew my mind is this battery compartment on the bottom. So there's a little slide lever and a lock and unlock, but when you pull down here, this whole battery pushes out. Crazy. Okay, so this stays on the gun, and this is what's rechargeable. There's these like 3 little metal kind of prongs, I don't know what you want to call them, but it comes with a charger, and then you just charge this piece itself, and when you're ready to put it back in the gun, line it up with those charging ports. Oh, done. It's that simple. It's kind of mind-blowing to me because I've never actually used anything like that before. So I think that's really cool. And then the lumens, 650 lumens, cast 410 meters if you care about some of those other specs. But it works on Picatinny rails and Glock rails, so that's really important to those of you that run Glocks. So yeah, that's kind of the stuff that's going on with the gun, and it shoots lights out. I'm really impressed by it. But what's really important, and I say this with every single gun ever, is your ammunition selection is really important. Okay, you can't run cheap or crappy, ammo through a gun and expect it to really perform, or not have the right sights and have really good ammo, and you can't really line that up. So it's really important that everything is kind of working together. So for me, I run Super Veil ammunition through all of my competition guns. This is what I take to matches. And if you're familiar with the brand, great. If you're not, they are located in Vegas. So American-made company with really great mission, really great values, morals, all of that. But what they do is they make remanufactured ammunition in bulk. So they do have awesome bulk pricing. I mean, you can get them by the crates if you really wanted to. But they also have factory new. So a lot of people don't know that. When you see a yellow box, that means this is their factory new ammunition. Their reman typically comes in big bulk, like 500 round bags, which is really convenient for me. I'll talk about this in a second, because I like to throw all my ammo in run gun bags. So this is a 9mm smaller run gun bag. This holds 500 rounds of 9mm, and if you're interested, they have a bigger one with 2 handles that will hold 1,000 rounds, which is awesome. But this is from my all new collection, 3 Kenzie collection on Run Gun website. So you can actually order this. The teal bags are exclusive for my line, which I'm really excited about, and you can customize the actual leather engraving. So if you don't want 9mm, you can change that. You behind me, another example, you put 45, whatever. I mean, and they have tons of colors, but 3 Kenzie collection with my logo on it, check that out. But going back to the ammunition selection, I put on here 115 grain and 124 grain from Super Veil. And I want to mention what this kind of does with the compensator. So a comp obviously wants to drive those gases upward to drive the muzzle down. So you want to have really fast velocity to kind of match and make that compensator work or porting work, because you want that gun to drive down. So you want that faster velocity and more gases. However, you can also shoot a little bit slower and have a more flat shooting gun as well, but it's not going to work the comp as much. So 124 and 115 are kind of the sweet spot. When you get into the 147s, it's a little bit too heavy, it's a little bit too slow, and it doesn't really work that comp as you like. But just want to mention that it's really important to match everything up to each other. So I'm going to hit the range, show you how impressive this gun is. Thank you, Tisas, for sending me for review. You can also check my whole review out too on alphaoutdoors.com if you want to read more about it. But this is what I want to tell you today. Check out my collection on Run Gun and stay tuned for more content. I'm working on it. Coming soon.
I have to laugh for a minute. I got cocky on one of them. That's how shooting goes sometimes. That's just how it is. This gun